Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and let you all be seated. This happens to me at every commencement. I'm the first speaker and the microphone doesn't work. So I've come to embrace the awkwardness of this moment. Please join me in a spirit of prayer as we invite the presence of the one who has blessed us with the gift of this day. We are thankful, God, for this day of celebration and for all who have guided and encouraged these graduates on each step of the journey. We are grateful for faculty and staff members who have invested their time inside and outside of the classroom, not just in proficiency of skill, but in care and compassion that has and will continue to make a difference in patients' lives. We are grateful for classmates and for family members who have shared moments of joy and fulfillment and to have walked together through valleys of frustration and sadness. As this step in the vocational journey draws to a close, we pray for hope about what the future holds. We pray for minds open to creative solutions.
Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and Doctor of Physical Therapy programs. Thank you, sir. Is that better? I'll repeat that last paragraph. We're gathered here today to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2023 for the Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling, Master of Physician Assistant Studies, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and Doctor of Physical Therapy programs. Today's ceremony marks multiple milestones for Emory and Henry and the School of Health Sciences. This is not only the largest graduate commencement ceremony to date, with a total of 103 graduates across 4 programs, but we are also celebrating the inaugural cohorts for the MS in Clinical Mental Health Counseling and the Doctor of Occupational Therapy. Class of 2023, we salute you. You've persevered during these unprecedented times, demonstrating great resilience and unwavering commitment to your goal of earning your respective degree. You have made many sacrifices and put in many long hours of studying, while also providing high-quality health care to your patients. We have no doubt that you will be true leaders in your chosen healthcare profession. As we honor you today, we would also like to recognize the many individuals who have supported you, comforted you, celebrated your accomplishments, and applauded your success. You have successfully met the many challenges along your journey because of the help that you have received from others. First among your cheerleaders are your family members. I would like to ask the family members of all of our graduates to please stand and be recognized. And graduates, please join me in thanking them for their love and support. Truly, it's graduation day for you as well. The members of the School of Health Sciences faculty constitute a second group that has played a central role in your success. These teachers, scholars, and mentors are the ones who have guided, encouraged, challenged, and prepared you to be highly successful, compassionate healthcare professionals who will truly make a difference in the lives of your patients and the communities that you serve. At this time, I would like to introduce the School of Health Sciences faculty members who are with us this morning. As I introduce them, I ask that they stand and remain standing until all introductions have been made. Please hold your applause until all of the introductions have been completed. The faculty members from the Department of Clinical Mental Health Counseling include Dr. Stephanie Rutledge, Department Chair and Program Director, Dr. Jessica Burkholder, and Dr. David Burkholder. The faculty members from the Department of Physician Assistant Studies include Philip Davis, Department Chair and Program Director, Amanda Fleener, Director of Didactic Education, Christopher Watson, Director of Clinical Education, Dr. Joy Barreau, Megan McReynolds, Dr. Chris Qualls, and Shanna Presley. Our faculty members from the Department of Occupational Therapy include Dr. John Jackson, Department Chair and Program Director, Dr. Terry Gilley, Academic Fieldwork Coordinator, Dr. Angelica Wolf, Capstone Coordinator, Dr. Amanda Bird Blevins, Dr. Whitney Ennis, Dr. Amy Evans, Dr. Lynn Umbarger, Dr. Stephanie Williams, and Dr. Kelly Gregg. The faculty members from the Department of Physical Therapy include Dr. Eric Coley, Department Chair and Program Director, Dr. Rose Pignataro, Assistant Department Chair, Dr. Casey Savage, Director of Clinical Education, Dr. Will Bodfish, Assistant Director of Clinical Education, Dr. Christy Angelopoulou, Dr. Dustin Barrett, Dr. Julia Castleberry, Dr. Chase Edwards, Dr. John Graham, who is also serving as the faculty marshal for today's ceremony, and Dr. Blake Justice, who also serves as the Assistant Dean for the School of Health Sciences. Please join me in thanking these faculty members for their dedication and commitment in excellence and teaching and mentoring the class of 2023. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the platform party. As I introduce them, I ask them to stand and to remain standing until the introductions have been made. Please hold your applause until all introductions have been completed. Members of the platform party include the Reverend Sharon Wright, College Chaplain, Dr. Michael Puglisi, Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Lou Fincher, Senior Vice President and Dean of the college's School of Health Sciences, Tracy Wright, Dean of Student Affairs and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging, and Tammy Sheets, Registrar for the Health Sciences Campus. Please join me in recognizing the platform party. This commencement ceremony would not be possible without the work of the talented and dedicated administrative support staff in the School of Health Sciences who are throughout the audience and include Karen Alley, Nikki Carroll, Carolyn Powers, Carrie Price, Tracy Reinhart, Judy Sweat, Dawn Veach, and Michelle Wall. Let's thank them as well. Lastly, I would like to thank our partners from the town of Marion, Smith County, Virginia, Ballad Health, the Smith County Community Foundation, the Smith County Health Trust, and the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center. The support from these organizations continues to be a key part of our success in the E&H School of Health Sciences. We truly value and appreciate the collaborative relationships we have with each and every one of our partners. And now we will continue with this wonderful moment of celebrating this milestone in the lives of our graduates.
At Emory and Henry College, it is customary for a member of the graduating class to speak at commencement. In keeping with this tradition, we will have 4 student speakers this morning, 1 from each program. And at this time, I am privileged to introduce our first student speaker, Josh Van Cassel, who will deliver the inaugural Master of Clinical Mental Health Counseling commencement address. Josh Van Cassel was born and raised here in Washington County, Virginia. A 9th-generation Southwest Virginian, Josh calls the mountains here home. He currently holds 2 degrees from Emory and Henry College, a Bachelor of Arts degree in Religion and English, which he earned in 2007, and a Master of Arts in Community and Organizational Leadership, which he completed in 2017. Today, he will earn his third Emory and Henry degree. Josh has already accepted a position at the Highlands Community Service Board here in Abington, where he will provide community mental health services focusing on various mental health and substance use needs. He intends to specialize in death, dying, and grief, and he is working towards a certification in thanatology, which addresses the needs of the terminally ill and their families. At last night's awards banquet, Josh received the Department of Clinical Mental Health Counseling's Outstanding Graduate Student Award for his academic and clinical excellence. When introduced by his faculty at that award ceremony, the faculty said this: "Josh has been an inspiration to both his peers and the faculty. He has not only excelled in his own pursuits, but he's also been a source of encouragement to his peers, creating a ripple effect of excellence throughout the program." Please join me in welcoming Josh Van Kassel to the podium to deliver the Master's Student Address on behalf of the Clinical Mental Health Counseling class of 2023.
Good morning. This morning, I would like to briefly share 3 reminders I rediscovered in various ways over the past year during my field experiences that I imagine you will find relatable. We are lucky to constantly be learning new things in this life, which I most certainly did during my time in the Clinical Mental Health Counseling program. But we are also often reminded of things we have seen along our journey in life and are afforded a new insight into their meaning, which was true for me this past year. Last August, as I was preparing to begin my year of field placements, one of the things that I was mindful of going into these experiences was that I would likely see and hear a great deal of suffering. The concept of suffering is something with which I have struggled for many years, and although I have never found a satisfactory answer to why suffering exists in the world, I had made up my mind that I wanted to help people through it. Nevertheless, getting ready to sit with suffering made me feel like I needed to prepare myself. One of the ways in which I felt that I needed to prepare myself was to balance out the suffering I would see and hear with more beauty in my life. Beauty is a word that carries baggage, and so I want to clarify that when I say beauty, I am not referring to the ways our culture currently defines it. I'm not talking, for instance, about things that are pretty. I'm talking more about the understanding we all have when we refer to something, for example, as a beautiful experience. What makes it beautiful? The Irish poet and philosopher John O'Donoghue, when defining beauty, uses phrases such as emerging fullness and a deeper sense of depth. This beauty is where we want to stay in our lives. It's a place of meaning, peace, and joy. I entered my practicum site with a desire for the balance between suffering and this idea of beauty. But I was quickly reminded of something that I had seen many times over the years. In 2013, I traveled out of the country for the first time, co-leading a team on our way to a remote coastal town in Guatemala to build houses for families in need. We expected to see poverty, but we were not prepared for what we saw and experienced. We were paired with the families we were serving, and they worked alongside us as we built the foundations for their new homes. We learned who they were and their stories, and they learned ours. On the 5th day, we prepared ourselves to leave, and as the people were crying and embracing each other, I realized something very important had occurred. The team arrived expecting to help people and learn about their lives, but within their attitudes was a bit of unintentional condescension. The idea that there probably wasn't much these families could do for the team members, and perhaps the belief that the team members would be minimally affected by their experiences. And by the fifth day, all of that melted away. A profound connection had been made, and both the team members and the families felt forever changed by it. The realities of poverty and wealth were still present, but expected roles of helper and helpee, which are sometimes unfortunately internalized as the saviors and the helpless, went by the wayside. And what remained were human beings with other human beings, seeing the dignity, worth, and splendor of their shared humanity in each other. But I had seen this sort of thing earlier as well, with groups traveling to urban settings like Atlanta to volunteer in community programs to assist people who were experiencing homelessness, and in rural settings like McDowell County, West Virginia, where groups volunteered with communities who had experienced a long history of abuse and abandonment which exists throughout the history of Appalachia. In every experience, this thing I am referring to kept emerging. And it showed up in my own life. Like many families in the region, mine was poor, and there were generations of poverty preceding mine, dating back 270 years in Southwest Virginia. As you may know, poverty brings with it all manner of hardships: abuse, abandonment, addiction, mental health struggles, and many more. And yet, through hard days and harder nights, there were moments when I saw something I didn't quite understand. The same thing I saw in Guatemala, in Atlanta, in McDowell County, and other countries, cities, and towns I've been privileged to visit. And with all of these experiences and examples tucked away just out of sight in my mind, I entered my practicum and internships thinking that I would see and hear suffering and would need to balance it with more beauty outside of sessions. Then I listened, and I rediscovered what had been emerging through all of these experiences along the way. It is this: suffering and beauty are often not far from each other. I've worked on this speech for several months, and every time I read that line, I have a reaction, and I imagine some of you do too. It doesn't feel right, it doesn't quite make sense, and somehow doesn't seem fair. And yet, from all of my experiences with suffering and from all of the experiences of hearing others' stories of suffering, I see that where you find one, you often find the other within arm's reach. They move together like two vines crisscrossing their way up the same tree. Suffering is not beautiful. Rather, suffering yearns for the beautiful parts of existence, reaching its arms out of itself towards beauty. And beauty, while shining through the prism of our many experiences, holds at the forefront of its mind and memory the suffering of the world. I witnessed deep physical, mental, and emotional pain. Life circumstances had taken people into the depths of darkness. But even in the depths of darkness, when asked why people kept showing up, why they kept pushing forward, there would be some form of, I'm reaching for beauty in this life, for meaning, for peace and joy. This was my first reminder. My second reminder was about the form in which beauty most often takes shape: relationships. There's a lot I could say about what I've learned about relationships, but I'd like to highlight an important aspect. Although we know that because we are social creatures, who have lived in community with others since our beginning, that relationships are foundational to who we are, relationships can be incredibly difficult and painful. When I think about this aspect of relationships, I think of Edward Markham. Markham was an American poet writing in a great time of pessimism. Many of his fellow writers wrote about the darker sides of life. During his lifespan, there were wars like no one had ever seen before, pandemics, political corruption, and polarization. In light of this, some great philosophers in Markham's time went so far as to argue that it would have been better to never have existed at all than to face the many sufferings of this world, many of which existed in the continuous widespread imbalance within relationships at the time. Markham thought differently. He sat at his desk and penned a poem titled Outwitted. He wrote, "He drew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in." We live in a time of enormous challenges. and in some ways, in certain contexts, relationships with our neighbors seem to be getting harder. And yet, when we look back in history at the times when changes of heart happened that led to great progress for humanity, we find meaningful relationships. And they were there in the stories I heard this past year. It is sometimes said that the therapeutic process almost always revolves around relationships, and that was certainly true in what I experienced. And in the stories I heard, I often witnessed the courage of drawing circles to take others in. Like Markham, we see wars, pandemics, corruption, and polarization. We face existential threats on a global scale. We face local threats, like simply going to school. I don't know the complex solutions needed to solve the short-term and long-term challenges we face, but I am certain of this. It requires a mosaic of courageous circles taking others in. It takes relationships. This was my second reminder. My third and final reminder was woven throughout the others. It is what Markham partnered with to draw his circles. It is the golden stitch outlining any moment and instance of beauty. It is what binds any meaningful relationship: love. That's a word with many meanings, and I certainly do not mean Valentine's Day. Dr. Maya Angelou wrote, "In the flush of love's light we dare be brave, and suddenly we see that love costs all we are and will ever be, yet it is only love which sets us free." I'm talking about the liberating force which sets us free. Love lets us walk through the pain with another person and help them carry the load. Love allows us to bend our tired knees and lay down our bitterness and forgive. One of the areas that I worked with the most this past year was grief. The pain of loss was often so great because the love was so strong. And yet it was love that allowed the person to find an enduring connection with the lost loved one in the midst of embarking on a new life. I sat for some time thinking through the examples of love that I've heard over the years, and I was reminded of a powerful one. Since the latest attempts at the erasure of Black history are particularly overt and aggressive, I think we should all responsibly, without speaking over Black voices, keep Black history at the forefront of America's consciousness in the public square. My example of love comes from local Black history. In the early 1970s, a group conducted an Appalachian oral history project during which they interviewed the descendants of people who had been enslaved, who were living in a small community just outside the college's Emory campus. Lola Orr told the story of a day when slave traders who were transporting a group of enslaved people bound in chains toward the southern plantations stopped by the farm once located near Lola Orr's community. As was customary, the slave traders bought young enslaved people working on the farm, put them in chains, and marched them south. One of the people they purchased that day was a young boy. Lola Orr spoke of the way the mothers would cry about their children after they were taken. As the story goes, the young boy's mother, who was not present when he was taken, found one of his footprints in the mud near a sycamore tree. When the mother gained her freedom and could acquire a piece of land, she built her house over the spot where the footprint had been and lived there for the remainder of her days. She formed an enduring connection with her lost loved one in the midst of embarking on a new life, a beautiful act of love in the midst of suffering. Time and again, I have heard powerful stories about love. I've seen over the past year how love liberates and transforms us, which was my third and final reminder. I'd like to end leaving you with a meditation on love by the Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy. I will ask you to hold those whom you love in your mind. As we move through, here are some of the people I've spent the last 2 years with who I will hold in my mind and heart. Kelly Hayes, who to me is the personification of strength, resiliency, and persistence. Some of you have had the opportunity to meet Kelly, but if you have not, you should, especially if you intend to work in our region. Kelly has an incredible life story for which she won the Hope Award this spring from the Appalachian Center for Civic Life, and I predict that she will soon be seen as and sought out as an expert in addiction and addiction counseling. Chris Thomas, who maintains a curious mind, a love for learning, and who is a model friend. Lisa Rasnick, who models determination, who is deeply committed to professional excellence, and who is the project partner you would always want. I'm with Lisa. Sydney Cook, a true Renaissance person who seeks to experience the fullness of this life, and who is the person I want to be like in so many ways. Emmett Casey, who is the most loyal person I have ever met, and who shows what true dedication to family and friends can look like. Elle Ryan, who embraces the challenges of life as they come, sees them as opportunities for growth, and applies her learning in ways that make her a better clinician every day. Liv Jennings, who is the bravest person I know, who I know understands many of the points I've discussed in this speech, and who is humbly committed to a life of serving others. And the three best professors I have ever had the privilege to study under, Dr. Stephanie Rutledge, Dr. Jessica Burkholder, and Dr. David Burkholder, who are brilliant scholars, exemplary educators, and who show a level of care for each individual student in their classroom that is transformative. I love each of these people dearly. And now, if you would join me in a meditation on love by the Surgeon General. Please close your eyes and place your right hand over your heart. Take a deep breath. Think about the people who have loved you over the years. The people who have been there for you during difficult times, who have supported you without judging you, and who stood by your side even when it was hard. Think about the people who have celebrated your moments of greatest joy with you, the people who saw your successes as theirs, the people who derived such pleasure and fulfillment from seeing you happy. Feel their love flowing through you, lifting you up, brightening your mood, and filling your heart. And know that that love is always there, even if they're not physically with you, because you carry that love in your heart. And know that you are and always will be worthy of that love. It came to you because you deserve it. And now open your eyes. What you just brought into awareness is your birthright. We are meant to know love. We are meant to receive it and hold it for ourselves, and we are meant to give it to others. The world is in desperate need of your love. But what I have seen in the last year is a desperate need to know we are loved. What may seem like good common sense has become an increasingly revolutionary idea in our world, to give and receive love. May we all, each of us present here today, practice this, the most important work of our lives. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today, and congratulations on your graduation.
Thank you, Josh, for that profound message. Congratulations to you and your many accomplishments, and best of luck to you as you begin your counseling career with the Highlands Community Service Board. I now have the honor of introducing Luke Rosante, the president of the Master of Physician Assistant Studies class of 2023, who will deliver the PA Studies student commencement address. Luke was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and earned his Bachelor of Science degree in pre-allied health with minors in biology and Spanish from Baldwin-Wallace University. Upon acceptance into the Emory and Henry Masters of Physician Assistant Studies program, Luke moved to Marion, Virginia to begin his journey of becoming a healthcare professional. Luke's leadership traits were recognized early when his peers elected him to serve as their class president. The PA faculty described Luke as a humble but strong leader, a person who gets things done. Following graduation, Luke plans to pursue a pediatric plastic surgery PA position at the Phoenix Children's Hospital. Please welcome Luke Rosante to the podium to deliver the Master's Student Address on behalf of the MPAS Class of 2023.
Thank you, Dean Fincher. First and foremost, I give all honor and glory to God. I thank him for allowing us to gather here today, whether we're watching online or here in person. Without his constant guidance, I would not be here today. Next, I'd like to congratulate our fellow counseling, occupational therapy, and physical therapy providers. It's special to be able to share this day with you all. And to the faculty and staff, preceptors, family and friends, thank you. This is not just an individual celebration for us students, but also a celebration for all those in our support system. We truly could not have done it without you. Now to my future PA colleagues. A classmate of ours told me to make this speech short, sweet, and to the point. The opposite of PA school. Daniel, I'll do my best. It has been a privilege to navigate with each of you this time warp they call PA school. It's felt like 5 years, and at the same time, just 5 hours. Yet here we are 27 months later, wondering what we got ourselves into. As we move forward into the next phase of our lives, I'd like to challenge each and every one of you to do 3 things. Decide on what you want in life, have absolute faith you'll accomplish it, and persist until you do. The action of decision-making, faith, and persistence will turn your goals into reality. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Luke, for those insightful remarks, and we certainly wish you the best of luck in your pursuit of the plastic surgery position at the Phoenix Children's Hospital. I now have the honor of introducing Jacqueline Pereira, the president of the inaugural OTD class of 2023. She will deliver today's first doctoral student address. Jacqueline grew up in Glendale, California, and earned her Bachelor of Science degree in biology from California State University, Los Angeles. After graduation, she is looking forward to returning to California to work in a pediatric OT setting, preferably where she can provide early intervention, as that is her passion, and also hopes to provide PRN work in acute care. Her ultimate goal is to open her own pediatric OT clinic. Jacqueline is a first-generation Latina, as well as the first in her family to earn a doctoral degree. She is very proud to be paving the way for others. And when asked to describe Jacqueline, the OT faculty quickly responded with this: Jackie Pereira embodies what it means to be a leader. She has been a strong advocate for her cohort and the OT profession, and is passionate about justice and equity. Please welcome Jacqueline Pereira to the podium to deliver the doctoral student address on behalf of the inaugural OTD class of 2023.
Whew, I'm a little nervous. You guys know I'm a little shy, so. Good morning, faculty and staff, friends and family, and students. My name is Jacqueline Pereira, and I am the class of 2023 SOTA president. I first want to say thank you to our faculty for guiding us through this journey. Our professors pushed and challenged us in many ways, from preparing us for fieldwork with a 5-day treatment plan, or having us think on our feet during our simulation exams. You kept us on our toes and helped us see our potential. Thank you for believing in us even when we question ourselves. I would like to thank Dr. Jackson for being open to suggestions, and more importantly, for being patient with us. As the faculty advisors for SOTA, thank you Dr. Evans and Dr. Blevins for always advocating for our class. While our professors taught us many valuable lessons, the one that I will always remember is never forget to bring a paperclip. In addition to the paperclip, they taught us that there is more to being an occupational therapist than just knowing your anatomy or how to administer an assessment. They taught us the importance of compassion and maintaining the dignity and integrity of our patients and each other. Next, I would like to say thank you to our friends and family. Thank you for supporting us in every way imaginable. Phone calls, text messages, FaceTime, Zoom calls, or any other form of communication to help us get through the difficult times. Regardless of where we come from or our journey to get here, one thing remains the same. We would have not been able to do this without you. Thank you for the sacrifices that you have made for us to reach this point in our lives. This day is just as much yours as it is ours, and I can confidently speak for everyone when I say that we all truly appreciate everything you have done for us. Now to the first OTD class. Wow, we did it. Remember sitting in anatomy class and thinking this is about to be the longest 3 years of our lives? But look at us now, sitting here today, graduating with our doctorate degree. Being the first doctorate of occupational therapy program at Emory and Henry College was not easy, as we were paving the way for future cohorts. Not only was it a lot of firsts for us, but for our professors, especially during our capstone experience. We had to learn how to adapt and be open to change as the pioneer class of this program. That is not surprising because the OTD class of 2023 is resilient. Our resilience was evident from the beginning, starting a new program in the middle of a pandemic, being away from our homes, and adapting to sudden changes made us who we are today. We are not only resilient, but as of this moment, we are inspiring, innovative, and beacons of perseverance. Sorry. Another first for the OTD program was having the white coat and pinning ceremony last May. OT cohorts before us did not have a white coat ceremony. As the inaugural doctorate class, it was important to advocate for ourselves and future cohorts. I remember the first week of orientation. Yes, orientation. We had not even stepped foot onto campus yet, and we were already thinking of different ways to convince our program to let us have a white coat ceremony. Our faculty supported and celebrated our accomplishments over the first 2 years by giving us a white coat ceremony. This is just one example of how passionate and dedicated we are and how we fight for what we believe in. We do not only advocate for ourselves, but we advocate for others that need it the most. The OTD class just completed a 14-week capstone experience where we implemented programs to help underserved populations. It gave us insight into how important it is for occupational therapists to continue to advocate and stand up for our patients and our profession. The field of occupational therapy emphasizes the importance of being trailblazers, of taking every situation and making it better for the good of the majority and minority. And our class signifies just that, paving the way for both, making strides, advocating for what is right, and having the support and resources from our faculty to succeed. We believe that our field needs to be respected and celebrated, as well as the future OTD students who will go through this program. Collectively, we did not know what to expect when entering the program, but we came together as a community. We were each other's support systems, from late-night study sessions to consoling our classmates through difficult moments. Over the past 3 years, I have seen you all grow into amazing individuals and overcome one of the toughest experiences with grace and dignity. Regardless of what we have been through as a cohort, I can honestly say I would not change one bit of this experience. We have built a special bond over the last 3 years because only the 33 individuals in this cohort will truly understand what each one of us has been through. For those that don't know me, I am from Glendale, California, so I guess you can call me a city girl. Coming to Marion, Virginia was very different from anything I have ever experienced. But I came to this experience with an open mind and an open heart. Honestly, one of the best decisions I have ever made. I can personally say that being 2,000 miles away from home was very difficult. While no one can replace my family, I met 32 individuals who are passionate, caring, loving, courageous, and most importantly, good human beings. You all hold a special place in my heart. I want to thank every single one of you for making this one of the most memorable experiences, and while you might not know this, you all helped me through difficult moments as well. While our destination has been the same, our paths have been different, and we have experienced our own personal challenges. The other day, I was asked, how do you feel about completing a doctorate program? Honestly, I didn't know what to say because sometimes we forget to stop and live in the present moment. So let's take the time to reflect on these last 3 years. Think about every challenge you faced throughout graduate school, all the lessons you learned, all the hours we spent in the cadaver lab, going to Mi Puerto after completing an exam, the laughs that we had, the late night study sessions, the times you cried, karaoke nights at Moondog, when you questioned yourself and wanted to give up, friends that have become family, studying at Sisters Cafe, the mistakes you made, all the times you got it right, the times you sacrificed going to family events or gathering with friends because you were in school, when you studied hard and got an A on that exam, when you became professional splint makers. Think about the failures and every time you were successful, when you completed fieldwork and realized you knew more than you thought. The loss you've experienced, but also the gains. Think about how this experience has shaped you into who you are today. Finally, think about all the times you asked yourself, is this worth it? While you sit there in your seat, think about these moments, and even though it has not always been easy, you should all be proud of yourselves. You did it. So while everyone else sees a degree in a frame, you will see all the hard work and sacrifices. And it doesn't stop there. While we close this chapter of our lives, another one begins. Now you will take your boards and start a new job. And while this transition will probably be nerve-wracking, I'm here to remind you that you'll do great. And whether you find yourself stuck in a question during the boards, having a tough day at work, or even if you make a mistake, the best way to handle it is by learning from it. Whenever you start to question yourself, remember those late-night study sessions, the hard work and sacrifices you have made these last 3 years to get to this point in your life. Remember, you deserve every opportunity presented to you. Make sure you start this next chapter of your life with grace, success, and positivity. So to wrap it up, I will leave you with this. One of my favorite quotes is, go into the world and do well, but more importantly, go into the world and do good. Ooh. Congratulations to the class of 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for those wonderful remarks. We are proud of your spirit of advocacy and know you will indeed do good things in this world. We wish you the best of luck as you return to California to begin your OT career. I now have the honor of introducing our last speaker, Michael Mueller, the president of the DPT class of 2023, who will deliver the DPT student address. Michael calls Richmond, Virginia his home, although he is the first true Virginian in his family. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Human Nutrition, Foods, and Exercise from Virginia Tech in 2015. Michael is described by the DPT faculty as a very hard worker who gets things done. He always displays a calm presence and always leads by example. Michael plans to start his PT career in an outpatient clinic in Richmond, working with both neurologic and orthopedic patient populations. Please welcome Michael Mueller to the podium to deliver the doctoral student address on behalf of the DPT class of 2023.
All right. Thank you, Dean Fincher, for that wonderful introduction and for all the hard work you put into this program and the other programs here at Emory and Henry School of Health Sciences. I'm nothing but proud to say that I attended this program, and I know that my classmates feel the same. I have to express my gratitude toward how this program is run and the fact that the administrators went above and beyond in the acceptance process. A lot of schools look at the grades and the numbers and base their application decisions solely on that. But here at Emory and Henry, we're valued as individuals. Through a rigorous process of analyzing our past experiences and education prior to apply, in addition to individual and group interviews, so that the school gets a clear picture of our character and our passion for this profession and for serving our communities. I knew this was the right place for me the moment I stepped foot on campus, and I know I'm not the only one. I want to take a moment to thank all the administrators, professors, and staff for all they do to keep this program running smoothly and for ensuring that all the students have a positive experience. Reflecting on my time here, I realize that everyone I've interacted with over my 2+ years have been genuine, caring, compassionate individuals that truly want each and every student to be successful and thrive. The same goes for the wonderful people of the town of Marion. We were welcomed with open arms and made comfortable calling Marion our home. Thank you for all the staff at local shops, businesses, restaurants, gyms, Hungry Mother State Park, as well as friendly locals for making Marion such a special place. I also have to give a big shout out to those that have supported us through our time here. Thank you to all the parents, family members, friends, significant others who helped us along the way, and thank you for being here supporting us today. I'll never forget my experiences with my classmates during my time here, memories that will last a lifetime. The intense stress that grows inside you before practical exams, and the immense relief afterward. The long hours spent studying and reviewing together for lecture exams, all the cahoots, leading up to the sweet taste of victory when grades were released. The long hours spent in the cadaver lab, learning as much as we possibly could while we had the chance, and the fun times spent together during downtime that was undoubtedly well earned. And of course, we, the class of 2023, had a particularly unique experience as we were accepted into this program at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. We were all unsure of what the future held, but in a time of uncertainty, we found an overwhelming sense of purpose as we began our journeys toward our DPT degrees. We weren't sure how it would work, but I know we were all ready for the challenges that laid ahead. We had restrictions, and we were limited in our ability to work in larger groups, but it gave us all a unique experience that we'll never forget, and even while social distancing, it brought us closer. We went through the thick of it all together and formed bonds that will last a lifetime. I will especially never forget working with each other for months before finally seeing each other's naked faces without masks and finding out what everyone truly looked like. I genuinely love my classmates, and I'm so proud to be a part of such a fantastic group of people, friends, and very soon to be clinicians and colleagues. Congratulations to each and every one of the graduates here today. I can't wait to continue this journey and see where it takes us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for those remarks. We are very proud of you and your accomplishments, and we certainly wish you the best of luck as you return to Richmond to begin your physical therapy career.
President Wells, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory and Henry College according to the policies set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. Would the clinical mental health counseling candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Emory and Henry College Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
Please escort the successful candidates for the Master of Science in Clinical Mental Health Counseling degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory and Henry College.
Sydney Marie Cook. Kelly Nicole Hayes. Olivia M. Jennings. Emmett T. Casey. Lisa Marie Rasnick. Elizabeth Susan Ryan. Christopher Thomas. Joshua Emory Von Kassel.
President Wells, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory and Henry College according to the policy set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Would the Master of Physician Assistant Studies candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Emory and Henry College Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Master of Physician Assistant Studies degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
Please escort the successful candidates for the Master of Physician Assistant Studies degree to the platform for formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory and Henry College.
Gertrude Canado Afriye. Mary Ashley, Alpha Eta inductee. Caitlin Michelle Bean. Mallory Alexa Choplin. Alex Crystal, Alpha Eta inductee. Nicole Cinquino. Jason Davis. Daniel Dwayne Day Jr., Pi Alpha inductee. Rita Elias Deba. Marina Elena Del Piso. Jacob Dubler. Jeremy Dickinson. Curtis Dunn, Alpha Eta inductee. Madeline Helen Charlotte Engel, Pi Alpha inductee. Kaylee Nicole Flack. Kaylee Geary. Alyssa Gottschalk, Alpha Eta inductee. Rachel Moises Guabara, Alpha Eta inductee. Elena High. Emily Hivick, Alpha Eta inductee. Dylan Kovaleski. Samantha Kramer. Maggie Libby. Jamie Alexa Mabe. Krista K. Mattern. Luke Razante. Madison Schaefer. Sarah Grace Tardabini, Pi Alpha inductee. Allison Van Sant, Pi Alpha inductee.
All right. President Wells, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory and Henry College according to the policy set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Doctor of Occupational Therapy. Would the candidates for the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Emory and Henry College Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
Please escort the successful candidates for the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory and Henry College.
Tiffany Leanne Allen. Emily Rachel Bennett. Kirsten Nicole Clancy. Daniela Quiros Dixon. Allison Elizabeth Foster, Alpha Eta. Janice Monique Gittens. Hey. Howard Huen. Shania Ibrahim. Meredith McLeod Jones.
Melody Khosravi. Tyson Garrett King. Natasha Marie Lenz. Patrick Christopher Long. Grayson McCarty. Hannah Nicole Millsaps. Jacqueline Pereira. Megan Lynn Peterson. Cassie Ann Pillay. Matthew Bernard Price. Liliana Noel Rafalski. Jillian Lee Reed. Samuel Tate Rutherford. Lucia Teresa Sadowski. Erica Riley Shutters. Taylor Victoria Treadway. Lara Turner. Ashley Catherine Underwood. Genesis Nicole Utz. Mia Victoria Verdeschi. Anna Montgomery Wagner. Sarah Elizabeth Whitsett. Mary Reagan Wiseman.
President Wells, I now have the honor of presenting to you candidates who have been approved for graduation by the faculty of Emory and Henry College according to the policies set forth by the Board of Trustees. Having successfully completed all academic requirements, they are fully qualified for the degree of Doctor of Physical Therapy. Would the Doctor of Physical Therapy candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Emory and Henry College Board of Trustees, and with pride and affection, I confer upon you the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereunto.
Please escort the successful candidates for the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree to the platform for the formal awarding of their diplomas from Emory and Henry College.
Anna Elizabeth Abello. Mitchell Niall Armbruster. Brittany Nemo Asante. Lauren Hope Campbell. Ryan Cartwright, Alpha Eta inductee. Tanner Luke Cox. Divya Bose Das. Balin Keith Dillow. Hannah Elizabeth Dolan. Jaslyn M. Frankfield. Tilia Fu. Kaylee Christine Gilbert. Haley Rebecca Jacobs. Megan Rose Jacoby. Haroon Joeed. Marcus Johnston, Alpha Eta inductee. Corbin Allen LeClaire. Vanessa Liang. Hannah Marie Lockoff. Catherine Marie Martin. Michael David Mueller. Lindsay Grace Wynn. Christopher Patrick O'Sullivan. Parthika Patel. Sergio Armando Salazar. Nicole Carol Scutty. Mariah Davis Sidner, Alpha Eta inductee. Brandon Taylor. Haley Ashlyn Wynn, Alpha Eta inductee. Well done, gal. Danielle Page Wolf. Garrett Thomas Ziegler. And last but not least, Sarah Ziegler, Alpha Eta inductee.
Will all of the Master of Science, Clinical Mental Health Counseling, Master of Physician Assistant Studies, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and Doctor of Physical Therapy degree recipients please stand and remain standing? Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you the graduates of the Emory and Henry College School of Health Sciences, class of 2023. Class of 2023, you have made your mark on Emory and Henry, and I know that Emory and Henry has made its mark on you. Do not forget from whence you came. Go forth in search of opportunities to make this world a better place as you assume your rightful places in the company of the distinguished graduates of this grand old institution. Godspeed, Class of 2023. You may be seated. At this time, we are going to conclude our ceremony with the spoken benediction delivered by the Reverend Sharon Wright. Following the benediction, please remain in place until the recession is complete. At this time, I ask all to rise.
As you celebrate your accomplishments today, I want to offer a blessing for our newly graduated medical and mental health practitioners. Blessed be your hands that will touch life. Blessed be your ears that will listen to pain. Blessed be your eyes that will see with compassion. Blessed be your mouth that will offer words of hope when a diagnosis is overwhelming or a client is struggling. Blessed be your heart as you help patients and clients push through pain to find strength and healing. Blessed be your mind as you thoughtfully support clients and patients. Blessed be your future and the support you will share with colleagues. And may your hands work with your mind, your senses, and your heart to bring grace, justice, and peace to all of God's children. Amen.